So that's the email, right? Again, it's like Westboro Baptist, right? It's not about, right? It's not about doing anything, right? It's about letting them know, right? Westboro Baptist alleges that they are interested in denouncing, right, satanic occultism, right? Though they've never phrased it so eloquently, I know that they would, whomever the preacher is there. And so every time I feel he's evil, I let them know, hey, here's someone, here's a couple of institutions that you could be picketing outside of because I'm living it. Right? And the same thing with everyone around him. You know, that his assistant, and I think his one assistant is badass cinema, hot broad, like gold skin, great legs, right? Who conspired to give me AIDS. Right? But my point is that, right, there's people around him, right, who are oblivious, right? You'll just go on an oblivious fool, right? That they don't know. That they say, oh man, it's so great, I get to go to work every day and talk to Quentin Tarantino. What a cool, badass guy. Right? And so we all see the world through our lens, right? And in that way, right? But my point is that now, right? And so we're getting to that point in the novel, right? Where he essentially, you know, the novel ends just before he reveals to me that there is no daughter, right? And so as soon as he did that, as soon as he admitted that to me, right, that everything that he's been doing is all bullshit, right? Then it became obvious. Oh, you're just a sad, weird, evil guy. That's like, I see. This has all been a conspiracy to make me put a bullet in my mouth, right? Right? And he's giving me visions, right? It's very subtle, right? Oh, I have no idea what he's talking about. Oh, gosh, you know, it's all the same tactics, right? So here's cinema speculation, right? There's the autograph, right there, right? Right? All revealed. 1 second. In that book, right, under the guise of Charles Manson, right, anyone who's been in his films, or who was in this film, I bet, I don't know if he's been, right, they all, if they've read this book, they went, oh, how subtle and how clever Quentin is, right? Cliff Booth is Brad Pitt, right? Quentin Tarantino is Charles Manson. As far as the tactics, right, so he wanted me to question him about cinema speculation, right? After he felt that he had to cancel the film after I started reviewing movies in protest, right? Right? With the Twitter handle, boycott the critic, right? And so he spent those 2 months from the time that he canceled the film through Tribeca, right? Doing the same things that Charles Manson does to Pussycat in this novel. Right? And then, right, when he stuck his nose up at my letter and turned his back on my letter, I said, no. This is bullshit. I'm not a show pony. Right now it's supposed to be different. Right now you're supposed to take my writing. Right now you're like, because he hadn't been accepting it. Right? That he stopped accepting it when the press announced that Brad Pitt was playing the role, and he refused both of the letters that I sent him after he canceled the film. Right? And so I had my letter, boom, right there. Pushed it all the way up to his face. Right? And he didn't have to take it. All he had to do was look me in the eye and say, what'd you think of the book? Got any questions? And he would have got everything he wanted. Right? My point being that I'm not like any other fucking actor you ever knew. Right? And I was ashamed. I hated myself forever. I said, oh gosh, like he needed that. Right? And then when he saw my compassion, he said, oh no, this guy's weak. He doesn't understand what's occurring. I'll compel him to blow his brains out and then I'll get his scene for free. That's That's what's been happening, right? And so after I didn't give him what he wanted, right, that's when the daughter came in, right? That's when, right? So Charles Manson guides Pussycat into that house in Pasadena, right? Quentin Tarantino tried to do the same thing to me while I was on the street in LA after Tribeca to get me arrested. So he'd go, ha 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 ha, that's what you get, motherfucker. Now I can point to your arrest record and say, see, look how crazy he is, and he failed, right? But the daughter emerged, right? And the campaign began through the same tactics that he told me he wanted me to question about cinema speculation through the same tactics that Charles Manson uses, right, to talk to Pussycat.